Australia relies heavily on container shipping to import goods for households and businesses, and export agricultural produce and manufactured goods to global markets. We need efficient supply chains to move these products to and from the port as quickly and sustainably as possible. Port Botany is the closest port to the state's largest population centre of Greater Sydney. 90% of containers imported through Port Botany are destined for distribution centres within 50 kilometres of the port. From here, the goods are unpacked and distributed to your local shops or directly to your door. The New South Wales Government's long-standing container policy is to maximise the use of Port Botany as the state's container port before investing in future port capacity. The policy recognises the significant long-term investments that have been made over the past 40 years to develop Sydney's container supply chain infrastructure. This infrastructure includes on-dock rail terminals at Port Botany, dedicated freight rail lines to intermodal terminals, warehousing and distribution centres, and the motorway network. Port Botany handles around 2.7 million TEU per year. The total capacity is more than 7 million TEU. This means a new container port is not needed in New South Wales for several decades. Once the use of Port Botany is maximised, Port Kembla makes the most sense as the state's next container port because it is the next closest port to the state's largest population centre, Greater Sydney. Developing Port Kembla when the time is right means shorter distances to the state's largest growth areas of Western and Southwestern Sydney and for most of the state's exporters. Shorter transport distances mean lower emissions, faster delivery times and lower costs for the households and businesses of New South Wales. Premature investment in another container port while Port Botany still has capacity would significantly increase costs for households and businesses and require enormous government investment to duplicate infrastructure which already exists around Port Botany.